Hi, today we're going to review all the ways to multiply a multi-digit number by a one-digit number that we've learned in class. The first way we learned was the base 10 model. So if I have 245 times 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 245 with base 10 blocks, and I'm going to do that 3 times. And then I'm going to regroup and put the base 10 blocks together. Now, one way you could do it is to just um, total up all the hundreds and get 600, total up all the tens and get 120, total up all the ones and get 15, and then add those three numbers together. Or you could do some regrouping, like regroup 10 tens into another 100, which would make 700s, or regroup 10 ones into another 10, as long as you get 735 when you put all of these base 10 blocks together, you have gotten the correct answer. The second way we learned to multiply by one digit number is using an area model with a grid. Now, we learned area is the inside of a rectangle, and we know if we know the length and the width of the rectangle, we know the area of the rectangle. So for 34 times 9, I drew an original long rectangle that was 34 units long and 9 units tall. And then to make it easier, because I don't want to count all of these squares, to make it easier, I used expanded form for 34 and did 30 plus 4. So I have two sections of my rectangle. And for this section, I did 9 times 30 equals 270. And the other section I did 9 times 4 equals 36. Those are partial products, and I can add those two partial products together to get the final product of 306 without having to count all of those squares. Now, if you can do an area model with a grid, then you can do an area model with no grid just by drawing a rectangle. Now I have this rectangle, and I'm going to represent 653 times 7. Once again, I'm going to take the expanded form of 653, and I'll do 600 plus 50 plus 3. So I have 3 sections in my rectangle this time, and I'll multiply each one of these sections by 7. 7 times 600, 7 times 50, 7 times 3. Those are my 3 partial products. Then I take those 3 partial products and I add them together to get my final product of 4,571. The next way we learn to do it without a model, we learn to do the partial product method. Now, the partial product method will get you the same results as if you were to draw an area model with a rectangle. We just did it without drawing. So we have 324 times 6. I did the expanded form of 324 is 300 plus 20 plus 4. And then I multiplied each one of these values by 6. So I did 6 times 300. I did 6 times 20. And I did 6 times 4. I have my 3 partial products right here. And then I added those partial products together to equal 1,944. So this partial product method is very similar to the area model, just without drawing the rectangle. Then finally, we learned the standard algorithm, and we call this the shortcut method. It is the shortest amount of work to do. And this is the way your parents and grandparents learn to multiply. So we would start in the ones place and multiply 6 times 5 ones. 6 times 5 ones is 30 ones. I'm going to regroup the 30 ones into 3 tens and 0 ones. Then I multiply by the tens. 6 times 2 tens is 12 tens. Plus I have these 3 tens I need to add to it. That's going to make 15 tens. I'll regroup the 15 tens into 100 and 5 tens. Then I'm going to multiply the hundreds. 6 times 3 hundreds is 18 hundreds. Plus one more hundred up top makes 19 hundreds. And I can put 19 hundreds in my product, and my final product is 1,950. So those are the ways that we have learned to multiply a multi-digit number by a one-digit number. Thanks for the review.